Welcome to The Entrepreneur in You, the podcast that unlocks the secrets to success in the trying world of being a busy entrepreneur. I'm your host, Troy Cummings, and I'm thrilled to embark on this journey with you as we dive deep into the minds of industry experts who have achieved remarkable success in their respective fields. Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Entrepreneur in You, where we help entrepreneurs learn, earn, and grow their business. Today's guest is Marie Miller, and she currently resides in the Reynoldsburg, Ohio area. Marie Miller is a ThetaHealing Certificate of Science. She practices theta healing as well as teaches most of the practitioner level classes. She founded House of Kellen in 2012, which focuses on retreats, empathy coaching, and holding online event summits for healers, and continues to let her business grow and evolve. So without further ado, let's welcome Marie Miller to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Troy. Happy to be here.
Yes. Hey, excited to have you on today. And had to be honest, maybe this theta healing is something that I need in my life. And this is definitely something new to the show. So I'm very excited to learn more about your business and the services that you offer, as well as maybe educating some of our listeners about, how your services work and maybe even someone who is interested in the industry, maybe how they can get involved. So I would like to, start off with asking you, can you tell our listeners a little bit about the practice and how it works?
So theta healing is based on the premise that our physical bodies are just a manifestation of what we believe on different levels, not just what we believe in this lifetime, but also what our ancestors believed. So when we're in a session with people, we pretty much get them into a nice, relaxed theta state. Because when you're in a theta brainwave, you can access your subconscious. It's the same one that's used in hypnosis. And then we help you understand, what did you believe when you were 5? Or what did your great-great-great-great-grandmother believe that is causing a fracture in your life or causing problems, whether physical or emotional?
Wow. Now, are there different types of theta healing? Can you explain that some more there?
So, a lot of healers work from from the theta brainwave. The theta healing technique that I'm certified in works a little bit differently. There's many healers who use that, but the thing that's different about theta healing as a trademark is the technique that we use to walk people through the healing.
Okay. Okay. Now, can someone do this remotely or like on a webinar or Zoom, or do they have to be in person? Can you explain that as well?
No, actually, yeah, even before the pandemic, I was doing this remotely. With the pandemic, we actually shifted it so all the classes can happen online. But yes, it can be done from anywhere in the world.
Okay, nice. And I think that's something that a lot of people would maybe assume that you'd have to be in person. So I think that's very good to hear. And for the audience to hear that is something. Now, would you just typically get on a Zoom or what does that look like as far as the experience?
I usually go on a Zoom mostly because I do tend to have a lot of international clients and students, so it's a little bit easier. But when I first started, I was just doing phone sessions, but either one works. Just depends on the comfort level of the practitioner.
Great. And, can it really heal trauma? Can you possibly tell us about maybe a real life experience where it helped one of your clients?
Yeah, I actually had helped a lot of people with trauma in my first 5 years of doing this work. My first set of clients were people whose childhood was so traumatic, they didn't actually have memories of it, which of course was interesting since they didn't remember it, trying to still find the beliefs and change them, but we were able to. And it got to the point where not only could they remember all that trauma from childhood, but they were no longer affected by it. And it was sort of just a fact. Because when you have blocked memories, the brain, you blocks them off for a reason to protect you from the trauma of reliving it. But we were able to make it safe for people to have those memories back.
Very interesting. And from an entrepreneur, since this is the Entrepreneur in You podcast, where do you see cases or are there patterns maybe with entrepreneurs where they may reach out to you and need some healing? Maybe explain that as well.
Yeah, I work a lot with my students, helping them get their businesses started. I also do things with helping people understand their divine timing, or pretty much like what is it that you came to this planet to do, and to
Mhm.
align that in a business sense. So, first of all, we tap into why are you really here, and then also how do you make money off of it.
Yeah, and that's very interesting because even myself as an entrepreneur, sometimes I go through that a lot just personally. It's like, what am I doing? Right. I mean, and we've all been there. It's like, what am I doing? Is this my passion, or is this what I was meant to do? Does it give me that fulfillment? Um, and I assume that's kind of what the healing maybe does. It kind of helps bring some of that out, and maybe shows some more purpose if that's something you're questioning.
Right, because when you're truly in line with what your heart really wants to do, it shows through in how you talk about it. And so I believe people are more successful when they're doing the things that are really aligned to their soul. And so I help people get aligned with that. And then we also help release any blockages they might have around actually having abundance or money.
Hmm. And you know, what in your past or maybe past relationship for you helped you discover this was a path for you, that you wanted to go down this path and start this type of business?
I mean, I always wanted to go into the healing arts of some sort, but I thought it was going to look like being a virologist in high school. There's all these virologists that were my
Mhm.
heroes, and I thought that's what I wanted to be, was like go down the Western medicine path. And then I discovered that I'm allergic to a lot of things used in Western medicine, like 3 different types of antibiotics. So I
Hmm.
started looking for something different. And I had just moved to San Diego. I was having daily migraines, and I just knew I didn't want to go take some pills and just mask the symptoms. Walking down a street, saw a sign that said foot bath. I'm like, you know what? I'll just try anything at this point. Went in, didn't get my foot bath for like till 6 months later, but ended up getting um, theta healing done by this lady, and then her husband helped with nutrition, and within 3 months, no more migraines.
Wow. Wow.
And I'm like, that's my thing.
Yes. Yeah, isn't that funny how just a personal experience, maybe something that we've never experienced before, but it provides or creates so much joy or healing for us. It's something that we want to be able to, share with others, and some of us are lucky enough to create a business out of it.
Absolutely. It took me a while to build my business, to be honest. I was one of those people who had like other jobs, side jobs as a crutch for years
Yeah.
until I was able to fully. So, like, it'd be like 20% of my income was healing. The rest was like whatever my current day job was for a while.
Yes. And talking about business, how do you market your service? Or maybe there's someone listening that is maybe not doing exactly what you're doing, but kind of in that wheelhouse. How do you get business? What do you see has been successful for you, or maybe even what has failed for you?
Well, Facebook advertising doesn't work for me for sure. I don't put money into ads anymore. What I've learned is
Sure.
people just need to come interact with me, see me like a few times, right? So I go to a lot of different events. When I was living in San Francisco, there was fairs I'd be at all the time to be literally in front of people. So
Hmm.
my best marketing strategy is I share a list with other healers. I work with other healers because we trade people back and forth. And I just keep showing up at events and being like, hey, I do this thing. Interested? That's all.
Yes. No, that's great. Yeah, and it's funny just how different businesses sometimes, um, we always just want to say, well, just run a Facebook ad. Um, but it's just not that simple. And even with my business, especially in a service business, it's extremely difficult because I tell people, hey, if I have a shirt or a pair of shoes that just looks a certain part, it's kind of an easier sell because I can just look at it and maybe look at some reviews and know that I'm interested. Versus with service based businesses, it really is more reliant on word of mouth or just other people's
Mhm.
experiences and really just telling that story because it is a service and so much more evolved or even a long term relationship with that person.
And honestly, yeah, I was going to bring that up. The majority of my clients are long term clients. I have a few people who come in for like one session because for some people, all you need is one session.
Wow.
But some people want to come to me and learn all the things, right? Especially as a
Yes.
teacher. So I do have people that I've been working with on and off for like 10 years or 5 years or, yeah, different amounts of time.
That's great. Now, are there any services you see engaging in down the road, or something maybe you want to offer that you're just not there yet, but something you'd like to add to your services?
That's a great question because I actually decided on a new service yesterday that I'm going to go
Wow,
get trained in. Because
great.
I love learning, right? So I love learning new things, and I've almost run out of theta healing to learn until Viana writes some more
Yeah.
books. I'm going to get trained in Kundalini activation and light integration.
Can you
A
say
friend
that
of
again?
mine does. Yeah, he calls it Kali for short, but Kundalini activation and light integration.
Okay. Okay.
So it's
And yeah, maybe indulge just a little bit.
I love this modality. So my friend actually developed her own program to train people. So I'm going to, of course, work with her. But I love it because it's more of a passive thing. Theta healing is kind of in your head. We're talking a lot, is very active. But when you're receiving a Kali session, you actually get to lay down with your eyes closed.
Hmm.
Um, and there's beautiful music playing. And then pretty much Min comes in, or the practitioner comes in, and is activating the Kundalini energy, which is the energy of the seven chakras, and activating it. And what it does is it basically will lead you to heal spontaneously.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So it's
Yes. No, that sounds awesome. And I love hearing, all this stuff's new to me as well. And I hope it's, stuff our listeners can learn about, because, again, these services are things that I don't see every day. And if they can help someone's life, I always encourage people to look into them and get educated. And especially for you, have them reach out to you and get those questions answered. Now,
absolutely.
I saw you have your own podcast. What are some of the things maybe you cover on your podcast?
Well, yeah, it's a broad range of things. I like to explore the edges of different things that people might consider taboo. So it's sort of like some of the extremism in religion, in sexuality, or in healing. So I find like the people who are the most out there and
Hmm.
sort of give them a platform to talk.
Okay, very yes, yes. I know some people that'd be great on your show.
Send them my way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now you were saying about, as far as like getting clients and things like that. I mean, are you big on social media? Do you really have like social media pages, or are you more just kind of focusing on maybe groups that are in your wheelhouse to get additional clients?
I tried the group thing and it never got as far as I'd
Yeah.
like it to. The
Yeah.
biggest one of my groups got was like 400, but they were very dedicated people. So I do have a Facebook page that is my biggest one,
Okay.
but
Okay.
it's still a lot of word of mouth and just showing up to events personally.
Okay. And what is your favorite part about being an entrepreneur?
Oh, that I get to work from home and my cat can snuggle on my lap while I'm teaching. I mean, just the ease of
Yeah.
setting my own schedule and also being creative. The way my business tends to work is I'm always creating new events
Hmm.
and new things and bringing new people in. So I do love the fact, because I'm very passionate too about meeting new and interesting people. And
Hmm.
I've just set up my business that I get to call in new humans all the time.
Yes. No, that's great. And I'm kind of, I feel like I'm that person too a lot of days, where we get stuck in our own little wheelhouse sometimes, and it's good to just hear from different people and kind of the way their outlooks are, or the way they see things, because I feel like we do kind of get stuck in our own little rut. And if I go to lunch with somebody or have a coffee meeting, I do get a lot from it, even so more than just trying to get business. Just sometimes it's
Mhm.
from a person to person relationship, and just even coming out of it, maybe thinking different. Maybe that person said something, and I never really thought of something a certain way, and they've helped me, understand that just from a coffee meeting. So
Mhm.
that's great.
Well,
Um, Now I want to show here. Lastly, is um, basically how can people reach you? Is the houseofkellen.com, is this the best place to reach out to you and get information?
Yeah, I set it up, maybe not the way most people say you're supposed to set up a website where it has tons of information, because I know there's people like me who just want to know all the things.
Sure.
So there's a lot of different, yeah. And it's house for those listening, it's Kellen with a K. So
Okay.
yeah, I keep that updated as much as possible. So I run my own website. So as new events come up and new specials come up, I can drop them there. All of my classes are listed there. Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to click around here. I mean, obviously, the ones listening can't see this, but we will put it on YouTube and some other platforms. But yeah, there's a lot of information on here. I always recommend people go into like the frequently asked questions before emailing or reaching out to you, because a lot of times you
Mhm.
can get your questions answered just by going to the FAQ. And also the testimonials. I did see that you have that on here as well. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that's huge, because anytime I do business, I've been around the block enough where I'm like, hey, I need to at least see 2 or 3 testimonials of people that have used your services. So this is great. Oh, great. Okay, the podcast link is on here as well.
Yep.
All right, awesome, awesome. Well, be sure to check out Marie at House of Kellen. That's with a K, houseofkellen.com. We're going to go ahead and wrap up today's show, but I want to thank Marie Miller for being on today on The Entrepreneur in You. And please remember, if you have anything, any questions, or maybe things that, that Marie has talked about today, you're unsure of, that you can't find in her FAQ section, make sure you send her a message through her website and reach out to her and get those questions answered. And for that, dude, we will go ahead and wrap up the show today. Thank you for listening to The Entrepreneur in You. Thank you for tuning in to The Entrepreneur in You. I hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as I did. If you found value in today's podcast, be sure to hit that follow or subscribe and leave us a review so other people can find this podcast and gain value from it as well.